Hi everybody, this is Amy from Chillin' with Amy Paint and Canvas, and I'm excited today to show you. I'm working on painting this barn quilt, and I've got my little thing here. Let me switch this over here. I've got my quilt here. I don't know if you ever heard of the story of the barn quilt, or maybe you've looked up a little bit about the history of them, the Barn Quilt Trail, or anything like that. But this is it's a pretty interesting story, but it's really what kind of made me want to go ahead and um, paint this. I'm actually going to be working on an 18-inch size, and I'm doing the 12-inch sizes, but they're all going to be like made to order. So for now, I'm just going to show you what I'm working on. This one's going to be for me, so it's going to be pretty exciting um, on that. So I'm going to switch this over here. I'll go off of me here. I hope you've got something to sip on, maybe something to snack on, because I'll be kind of sipping on my coffee here, and I got a little snack. So um, but just sit back and enjoy the painting. And if you got questions, feel free to comment and just let me know. And maybe I'll even ask a couple times. I might ask you for some tips on how I should paint this. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to switch over. Now I've got a side view going here for you this time, because it puts everything into the picture a little better. What makes this kind of fun on this quilt, as from the picture you can kind of see, I really like that pattern and that color, but you could paint it any color you wanted. But I have these pieces here that I've got 16 of them I cut out. Now this one is not in the birch. What I'm going to be doing is these in birch planks, and pattern up. So I'm going to have those, and they are going to be framed, already pre-framed. And then I'm going to have, of course, the smaller ones, 12-inch. But this is just for me, so I've done this one a little bit less spendy, I guess you'd say. So I have 16 of these that I'm going to be gluing onto the pattern here. The first step, you can do a couple of different ways. The frame is going to be on there. So you could start with the frame, or you could go ahead and just paint the background first and then do the frame, which is, I will probably do my background and then do the frame there. So I do have to get my water here. A little water pan here. Oh, hang on. Talk amongst yourself for a second. I'm going to get my water bucket here. I got it filled. All right. Yes, it's back here. There we go. All right, I grabbed my little spray bottle too, just in case I needed to thin my paint down a little bit, or keep them moist so that they don't dry out. And I'm going with those blue tones that I showed in the picture there. So I've got, I'm going to put in my background first, but I've got what I'm going to be using is a true navy, and of course the white. I've got a bright blue that I'm going to be using a little bit of white with, and my black, as I'll do a little more grays. So really it's just basically, the 4 colors there. So, and I have a little bit of wood glue that I'm going to use when I attach these on there. So you could have a hairdryer handy, but really you just need to take your time with it. And we're going to be using mostly flat brushes on this as well. So I'm going to start off with, I think I'm going to start off probably with my bigger one here to like a 1-inch flat brush, and then I'll drop down smaller as I get, into the tighter places. One thing you don't want to, paint over your pattern, because you want to keep that. You could always put it with marker if you wanted to make sure it stayed, but it might bleed on the wood, so I really wouldn't do that. I would just try not to paint over my pattern. So I'm going to put a little bit of the paints on my palette here. I'm going to get some of that, and we'll start mixing in. I'm going to put white in the biggest part of my palette because that's what I'm going to be doing a lot of, mixing that for that background. And some black in there. So I'm going to wet my brushes a little bit and just kind of want to show this with you, and you can let me know just what would be the colors, I guess, that you would choose if you were going to do like a barn quilt like this. Would you choose more of these colors, or would you go a little more, with maybe reds and stuff? The blues that's just kind of what I liked. But I didn't, some people would tend more choose red. I'm just going to mix up kind of a blue-gray kind of color here, and to be a little bit lighter. And I'm not going to worry so much, about, I'm going to paint my frame. When I go to paint it, then I'll worry about getting it on those. But I'm just going to come up here along that edge and get this in there started. And if you don't have this a solid color, that's a good thing, because it's kind of a nice background that you don't want necessarily to be solid. And we will kind of rough it up here later to make it look like it's been through a little bit. I get a little more white in there, and so I'm going to come around, and now I'm going to go pretty slow. These flat brushes are pretty nice, for getting right up on them edges like that. So that's why you definitely want to. You could use another brush, but boy, these are just a little bit easier. You can leave a little bit of pencil edge if you want, so that you can see your pattern. You might, like lay out your pattern, or like I've got a picture of the pattern that I want to go by, and I just kind of painted over it a little bit to remind myself like where I want to put my different colors. I'm just going to paint up here around this here. Try not to paint over the very tips of my. Now those tips here, like you see the little X's on there. Those are actually, I marked those with X's because those are the ones that I'm going to do the 3D. I'm going to put the other painted diamonds on top of them. Little wood shows through or something, that's okay. Like I said, we're going to make this a little bit rough, a little rustic, like it's been weathered a little bit. And I'm thinking that, on the front of our house, it's kind of like the side actually, but faces the street. We have a really good spot that I would love to hang mine up right there. You just have to make sure you seal them really good. If you're going to put them outside, just make sure that they're good and sealed. A little more of the gray tone kind of going in there. I like the blue, but I also like a little bit of that gray in there. And again, this can be a preference of yours, how rustic you want it, or however you want to do it. You can add different colors in there, some tans and browns, and whatever you want. Just have fun with it and enjoy it. That's the main thing. My husband and I, we went down yesterday to the lumber store and to get some more wood for these and some other things. And on our way down, it was so funny. It was on our way down, I saw one of the barns. I hadn't took the back road for a while, so we was going down there, and I said, "Hey, look! There's a barn quilt." I said, "I need to get a picture of that." He just kind of laughed and looked at me. He's kind of used to that, but I definitely said, "Well, if we come back through this way, I'm gonna get a picture of that." Well, we didn't go back through that way, so I didn't get to get a picture, but I know where it's at, so someday I might slip that way and get a picture of it. Just trying to get around here. And this is gonna, this is gonna be one of them paintings. It's gonna take a little bit of time because you got a lot of little diamonds here to paint. I'm I'll try to speed it a little bit, but I don't want to go so fast that I just, make a mess of it either. There. Okay. One more paint on my palette here in that area where I want. That's where I'm going to take, I'm getting down in the couple little tight spots here. I'm going to get me a smaller flat brush. This is actually number 6 here. I'm going to try to get that so I can get right up in here. Down there. So where the brush just doesn't want to get in there without painting over that. I might just while I got it in my hand get this little point right here. I probably can get it with the big brush though. Okay, I'll leave that set there because I might need that later. In their hand. So when you jump on, if you happen to jump on, hi Michelle, turquoise, yeah, I love that turquoise. Oh, I do too. That Caribbean blue seems to be my favorite. I wanted to put it in this one actually, and I just didn't like the way it looks, so I didn't. But as I was saying, if you jump on, say hi. I'm using StreamYard, so you'll need to give StreamYard permission to post your Facebook profile and your name so that we know who you are instead of just Facebook user. Has anyone ever painted one of these before, I wonder? This is the first one I've ever painted. It'd be really cool if someone else painted one, if they could, post a picture of theirs. I was thinking originally, my husband and I was talking. We originally was thinking I would make these kits. These are going to be like a paint kit that are available. So you'll get everything you see here plus the paints and some brushes, so you can complete this. But I was thinking originally to send like pre-drilled holes into the frame and have the nails, and you would just hammer your frame on there yourself. It'd make it easier to paint, of course, but um, the more we got to thinking about it, we thought, oh, it'd just be a lot simpler for anyone, and they wouldn't have to, if they aren't very good using the hammer or whatever, then it'd be a lot easier to have it on here. And basically, it'll just be putting a really thin line there to do the frame, so it won't be too bad. Okay, a little more paint here. You can, your background here, maybe you can change it up a little bit. Maybe you want one a little bit more blue or a little more gray, or whatever your preference is there. Go in a little bit of that darker blue, I think, in this area. Just going to get my lines in here. Hi there, Rosie. Good to see you. Anybody watched yesterday's live video? I was doing the cookies, the sugar cookies. So my granddaughter's one of her favorites. I didn't get to make them for Christmas, and then when I got the other paint party coming up, virtual online, the retreat, February 5th and 6th. But that one coming up, it's going to be a sip and snack. So I've actually got one of the snacks we're going to have. I'm going to be having, and I put the recipe in for, was the sugar cookies. So that's going to be something that, in that party, if you wanted to make those, we'd be kind of like snacking together. It's just a relaxed weekend kind of thing. But so anyhow, I promised I would do the live of those, making the sugar cookies and how I did the roses on there. So I went ahead and did that yesterday. So if you didn't happen to catch it, it's still on there. It's on my Facebook page and group, and also YouTube channel as well. If you hadn't been on the YouTube channel, I'd love it if you could go in there and hit subscribe so that you can follow up with that as well. So I want to try to get a few more things out for you guys, trying to get more. Oh, thanks, Michelle. Yeah, thank you. The cookies actually are one of our favorite cookie recipes. Those are really good. When the icing is just right, it's not too much, it's not like when you put the buttercream icing on, sometimes it can be just like an overload. So it's just enough sweetness to add. The cookie's already a little bit sweet and has that nice little almond flavor. So if you haven't seen my palette, you can kind of see it now. I've switched from the round paper plates to these divided ones. These are really nice for keeping your paints in there, so you don't have to worry about them sliding if you tip it, or something, and it gives you a pretty good amount of space there for mixing. I always end up still needing more compartments or more places though, so it's just one of those things for me. I'm not a left-hander, so I'm not going to try this left-handed for sure. The wood pretty much soaks up this paint pretty good, which is, it's covering nice, but it does soak it up. So get this lined first. right, so I got the background all pretty much painted in there. And as you can see, I kind of went with that, streaks here and there. And I really kind of like that. It makes it definitely look a little bit more, like old distressed kind of wood. Oh, great, Michelle. I'm so happy that you're going to. Oh, it's definitely coffee time, sip time for me. Mm, thank you. So anyhow, yeah, Michelle, I'm really glad that you're going to go to the retreat. I think you're going to have fun with that, especially since we're doing a mixed media with that. I think you're really going to love it. And Rosalind saved the recipe. You're going to make that sometime, right? That should be one of our weekend game days or something. We'll make cookies instead. Okay, so I've got that there figured out. So I kind of want to take my brush here. And of course I've got my palette already. Everything's all mixed up. And that bottle paint's getting down there. But I just want to take a brush here real quick. And I'm going to put my pattern, excuse me, of like which squares I'm doing. And I'm using my picture from, that I had there for reference there. But I'm going to just put like where I'm putting my different colors. And I don't know, you saw the picture in the beginning. Did you think that they looked a little crazy or did it go okay? I tried putting them together like, oh, my OCD kind of kicked in a little and I would put all the black ones together, like in a certain pattern or something, but it just didn't look right. So I didn't do it. So I got white here and I think I'm going to put the white there. And then they had these two, white, black, white, white. This will just help for like when I go to paint so I can keep my pattern. And that's what you kind of want, like I said, when you go to paint one of these, you want to get your pattern figured out. So that's why on a piece of paper, I kind of did it out to see, how do I want to put my pattern of colors. So those are going to be my white ones. And of course, I'm putting spots on all of these right here. I actually didn't really have to do that. But all of those are going to have another piece on top. So those ones I will paint separate. But the ones that aren't going to have, so I wouldn't have to paint any of this, actually, like all this right in here. I wouldn't have to paint that. These ones here on the very tips, all of those, like there's 16 pieces that I'm doing separate. So those I wouldn't have to paint either. But I'm just going to mark my pattern just so I don't get confused. I need some more black here. So I'm going to put where my black ones are on that. I'm going to put black here. Let's see. This one will be black. No, my little X's actually are the ones that I'm putting the pieces on is what I marked those for, but black. And that one will be black. It's blue, black. Okay. Oh, I'll get that squishy thing. Sometimes I don't know about this, whether it's my camera or if it's what it is, but it just kind of goes in a thing there. I know it only does like 30 some minutes at a time, so I don't know, maybe I hit the 30 some minute time. So it'll be like in 3 videos or something, but let's see. All right, so black here. Oh, the picture, you didn't see it. Oh, in the very beginning, but let me pull out this one. I got here. See if we can show you. Here you go. Can you see that, Michelle? That's the picture. Hey, Ronald. Happy birthday. This is the picture reference that I'm going by. And that was, I think, on the main post there. That's what I'm using. So that's the kind of the pattern that I was going with. All right, see, a black, and I got a black over here. Got my black there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blacks. Okay. And I got 2 shades of blue. I was thinking of gray in there, like on, one of the blues to be kind of gray. I haven't quite got that. All right, let's see. So again, like if, let's say I'm going to put that in there, but if you decide you would like to maybe do one of these kits and you want to see about ordering one, just if you want to comment in your comments, say yes, please. And then later after this, I will send you the link on how you can get those. But like I said, this is the 18-inch one we're working on here. So it's a lot of fun. Just going to be, one of those things that you, like say, you can hang it outside. You can, keep it inside for decorative, put it on your, up above your fireplace or, somewhere on a stand or something. Or like I said, I'm going to hang mine actually either outside or on the wall, depending on how that works out. So I've got some blue. I'm going to go with this is going to be my lighter blue as a tint, kind of gray. It's going to be in this area on that one. And see, these are going to be my blues. A little bit darker blue. Here's my lighter gray. That's going to be one of those. One down here. Some blues. A bluer one here. This one's a little bit more of this blue color. I guess that's a little bit more of that blue one. Okay. Okay, great, Michelle. Yeah, I'll send you that link after this is done. And I'm going to do the blue here. Okay. All right, so the end pieces, I don't have marked because I already know that those I'm going to do in that blue color. See this? I'm going to do that blue color right there. But these ones here, I don't know what you think. These ones I was thinking of doing the more of the, I've got this like lighter blue, gray. I really kind of like that. I was wondering if I should put that here next to the end ones or just keep that kind of more of that bright blue. Go a little darker on the end ones, maybe. What do you think? Darker on the end ones or lighter on those other blue ones? Okay. So I'm going to rinse that brush out and I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to use this 3/4 flat on this one. Probably could use the 1/2 inch flat. Would probably be good too. I'm going to start with 3/4 and see how that goes. If I need to switch it out, I will. So I'm going to get out a little more paint here. I have that one. That one's okay. All right. So the ones I'm going to focus on right now are the ones that I'm not covering up. So like this white one here, I know this is going to be one I'm not going to cover. When this dries, if you got any like pencil marks that you want to try to erase, you can do that. I'm just going to try to paint mine right up to, and like I said, it doesn't matter if they show, but most of them are not going to show anyhow. Okay. Yeah, lighter blue. Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Michelle. I'm going to try that. So when we do that, if I get off, you'll have to let me know. A little gray in my brush. I think I dipped into the one that I had the black. So with the flat brush, again with this, it's kind of nice because you can go right up to these edges and just get a nice edge. And I'm going to try my left-handed. I could move the board around a little bit more probably. Yeah, that left-handed's going to work. Can't do left-handed. Just going to have to do it this way. Then when I get done, I'm going to do my frame. I am going to do my frame in black. So I want this to really pop out and kind of look like a shadow box in a way. A little bit because it's got the frame up. It sticks up just a little bit, just a little higher than when I put those other little pieces in. So we still have all that 3D effect, but yet pretty cool looking, I think. Black is kind of neat and clean, cleans it up a little bit, I think. Now, if you were, like I was talking earlier about, if you wanted to put it outside, you want to make sure that you seal it front and back, sides, everything, really good. And if you want to use something that keep the colors from fading or turning yellow so much, you could clean it later and everything. But again, I would go with that clear acrylic spray. It says non-yellowing on it. You could do it. There's also a varnish also that is non-yellowing that you could put on it. But I would literally, put one coat on, let it dry completely, and do light coats at a time. Because if you put it on too heavy, it kind of gives it a milky look. Then I would come back after, it's good and dry, do another coat, and then maybe doing another one. Michelle, you crack me up. Michelle says she would be spinning this board like crazy, which I probably would if I had a little more room. It's getting a little tight in this room, I'll tell you. If you ever saw my little video I did of the kind of the behind the scenes thing, you'd see my little room where I'm painting. It's definitely a tight space. Well, and to get the cameras and the light and everything here, I can't really spread out too much. And if I go touching the camera too much, then I might knock you out of the whole thing. Because earlier, that's why I was a couple minutes late actually getting on, because every time I try to touch it and adjust it, I kept knocking myself out of the broadcast. So I was kind of thinking too, like on my next our virtual paint party, I thought it would be really cool if someone wanted to join in, be a guest in there. Basically, if you send me an email, amymelvin@ymail.com, you can send me an email, let me know if you wanted to do it. You would have to have, of course, your camera. That you would get an email link from me, giving you a link and asking if you want to join, and you would have to have your camera and be able to put headphones in, possibly into your phone, because sometimes it causes a squeal. Now, it might not, but most of the time we found that you had to put the headphones in. Maddie and I tried to do one, and of course it might have been because we was in the same house. I don't know. But I thought it would be kind of neat if someone wanted to join in and be like a guest speaker, but yet you would be like a guest painter. So, because I can have up to, I think maybe it was 6. I can't remember now how many I can have. Might have been 5, but I can have that many I can invite to do. The pictures would be a little bit smaller with everybody painting, but if we had that many at a time, and that is. But I thought it would be neat because then everybody could kind of see another person painting along as I'm painting and instructing, um, and it might help. Or maybe that person might have a technique or a little trick they could show us at the same time to help everybody out. And when you're in there, I can see and talk to you just as if we were in the same room. Okay, just getting those white ones painted in. I'm going around just with the same brush, going ahead and getting the white ones done. That way I don't have to keep changing my brush and stuff. I guess I could have had them all laid out. I don't know, but just want to get those done, and then I'm going to um, work on the next color after that. It's a nice thing too is you can paint this. Let's say we paint it all up, and I say, oh, I don't like that. I don't like the pattern I just did. Yeah, maybe I want to change. Like I'm going to try that light blue, and if we like it, we'll leave it, and if not, I can change it. Just like your other paintings. I kind of decided that I wanted to do more of like a sip and snack kind of paint party deal because it just yeah, everybody does the sip and paint, and some people drink and some people don't, alcohol that is, so you wouldn't have to either one, just anything you want. um, but I just thought it would be a little more interesting, and kind of like we're just sitting down and having our snacks and having our drinks and talking and painting together. I think it's just a lot more fun. So that's like Michelle's. She has to keep her hair dryer to keep on and off to keep the kitties off the table. Yeah. I have, before I come into the room, I said to my dog, Gretchen, I said, Gretchen, I'm going to be doing a live. You want to come in? You got to come in now. Because no sooner I shut the door and get started, she's at the door wanting in, scratching that door wanting in. So I just bring her on in, and then I have my other cat in here too. But they usually just kind of lay on the floor. The one lays up in a cushion. Well, the one I'm sitting on, she tries to take that one, or he tries to take that one all the time. But they keep me company when I'm in here painting. And I don't know if they think I'm talking to somebody, that they just don't see, or they understand it or not. But I'm using, again, this bigger brush here. But again, you could use a smaller one, especially when you get to those tight corners there. I want to try to, I do want to try to cover as much as I can a little bit quicker so that you guys aren't having to sit and painstakingly watch me paint every single one of these diamonds. There's no pain in it. It's just a lot of fun. It's very relaxing. So I think I enjoy about all art, not just my painting, but anything else. If I'm carving or baking or whatever, it's all an art. Um, it's just very relaxing for me. Just kind of get into another little world. Michelle's cracking me up. I don't know if you guys are seeing her comments. Uh, drinking paint water. Now that's it's a good thing that we use acrylics. At least I am, because let's face it. How many times have I tried to pick up my paint water if I've had it in a cup? Like I use the plastic cups at the paint parties, and I would just be picking that cup up all the time. All right, speaking of, I'm gonna sip of my coffee. So with everything going on, I haven't been able to have any private or public, sorry, personal public paint parties. Well, I've had some in the past, but I mean the limits are so small now that it's almost something I can't hardly do because with everything, the expenses of the paints and all the supplies and the time and everything else. When you got such a small class, it's really hard to um, make it where you're making enough to pay for everything. But I enjoy it so much, so I really miss them. But so this is kind of our next best thing, is doing them online. Um, and that's why I've started the YouTube channel as well. Like I said, I do want to do more paintings, more free ones, more workshops and challenges and stuff that you can do with me. And if people don't like to be on Facebook that much, because I know there's been a lot of negativity lately, and uh, that's why they can jump on my YouTube channel. And there you pick and choose what you're going to see. And you can still comment on the YouTube channels too. So I'm slowly getting it out. Getting these, well, I guess these ones I didn't need to paint. Those I don't need to paint. I'm going to paint those on these other pieces. This one here I need to paint. Again, that's why I mark them out. Why the little X's remind me. That one I'm going to paint 3D. I think it would be really cool though. The one I saw yesterday, we were actually heading down towards Lancaster on Route 22, if you're familiar with the area. And that one I saw there, it had a bunch of different colors in it. Nothing quite like this, but it's just really cool, and it's certainly a lot bigger, even bigger than these. I just think it would be neat to actually paint one on a barn too. People hang them not just on barns; they hang them on their porch or side of their house, like I'm thinking, and hang them up in their living rooms. And the cool thing about them too is if you have somebody that made a quilt, you could paint it to resemble that, with the pattern or the colors or something. If the pattern maybe don't match, but maybe the colors, you could match them up. Leaving just a hairline crack there between those two. Try to leave that a little bit so it shows through. Okay, so I got all the white. I'm gonna rinse out my brush here. And I think go ahead and get the black ones painted in there. Yeah, yeah, keep the kitty paws out of your cups, that's for sure. Then you'll have kitty paws all over your paintings, probably. Okay. So again, here's that awkward one that I would like to turn this. So you at home, if you were painting one, you could turn this, set it up a nice area for you to paint, and where you could turn your board. Now these ones that I'm going to be covering with a piece of wood, I wouldn't have to be so careful about painting there, but like on the edge here, I want to make sure that I'm kind of staying there. I can't. I'm going to have to try to do the left hand here. Push it up there a little bit. Okay. It's been a lot of fun. This, of course, the last few days we've had so much snow. Well, not tons of it, but just snow every day. But I've had a couple days off, and it's been certainly enjoyable. Enjoying it really a lot. So I've been able to get online with you guys and have a lot of fun doing that. And getting some things done. Being able to get creative, and I've dragged my husband into it. He's helping me with some of these today. He's like, "Oh, that's too much work." He's retired now, so he don't think he should have to do any work. So getting those in. Oh, again, I'm painting one that I don't have to paint. These ones here, that, like I said, I had the X's. I don't have to paint those underneath. In fact, I'd like not to, because I'm going to glue those on. I don't want to have to fight the paint and the glue, trying to get the glue to stick. I'm just going to use a wood glue. You could probably do, I'm using wood glue because I'm planning on putting mine outside. So if I do that, I want to make sure that I got something that's probably going to stay. And I'm not too sure. I'm assuming the hot glue could possibly stay good. I don't know. Have you guys used anything? I've got a tacky glue. It's like a clear tacky glue, and I've got hot glue, but I thought if I use wood glue, then it would maybe stay. This is one of those squares I got to be a little more careful with. I don't want to mess up the line here between these two. That's easier said than done. But don't worry, if you accidentally get over one or something, you can always touch it up later when it dries. Okay, so I got a black one down here, and I believe that is all those ones. The other ones will be a lot easier to paint. I guess I probably should have started painting them first, huh? Paint those first and then work my way on these. Because then while they were drying, I could have been painting these, and I guess I didn't think that one out too good. A little brain infarction there. All right. Okay, getting closer for the fun stuff. And this is the one that I'm going to be covering, so seeing I've got a little bit of a touch up there to do, I think. All right, so I got those all painted. So at this moment, I'm going to slide that up a little bit so I can pull these over. Now here's all those pieces that I was talking about. This is where I'm going to just have to get them all ready. So I know I have Those little marks that I know I have a total of 6 black in my actual painting. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I got 2 of these 3D ones that I'm going to paint black. So while I have the black in my hand, then I'm going to paint the sides. Now, when I do the actual kits, mine, like I said, I went a little bit lesser expensive wood, but I have a craft board that I use. It's a nice wood. That's what I'm going to be using on that. So it'll sit up a little bit higher on those. So you get a little more solid there. But boy, definitely the prices of the wood certainly went up. I don't know what happened there. They suddenly, what happened with the trees or what, but okay. So I'll line them up over there on that side. I need to get a little more black out on my palette here. The price of the board that I was getting for one of my porch leaners and stuff went up literally. Well, it already went up $1 from the last time I had bought it, but this time it literally went up $4. I couldn't believe it. It's like, what the heck? I don't know what caused that, but okay. And then I need one more in the black, and I'm not going to paint the underside as it's not necessary. It's going to be glued on there. That won't be showing. And I want my glue to stick good. So again, I don't want to fight that. Good thing about the acrylics is it doesn't take too long to dry. But and then just kind of lining them up here over on the side. So when I pull that back down, hopefully I'll have space. I might run out of room here. Might have to actually lay them on the board if I can. All right, so that's all my black ones. So actually, I missed a couple spots, didn't I? Michelle, you probably would have caught that, huh? Those light blue ones we were talking about, a little more towards the light blue gray color. Get that. Get that color there. Get it mixed up here. See if I get the right color here. All right. I think that might have been what we were thinking. Might be a little bit. I might have needed a little more blue in there, actually. Okay. So he's thinking instead of those being that blue color, maybe try the light blue. Because we're going to have the little bit darker blue over here. And then we're going to have the bright blue on those two. And then this here blue right there. So now that really kind of blends in. You're going to need to add a little more blue. And it'll dry a little darker. Your acrylics dry a little bit darker. But I'm going to add just a touch more blue here. I think that's a little better. It's still lighter than the other blue, but it's a little bit darker. Going to be darker than the background that I have there. Guess I wasn't done all the way here, was I? See, these ones are like a light blue, but a little more towards the gray. Yeah, I think I'm going to like that, Michelle. I think I'm going to like that better than having the two blues so close together. Again, if anyone, like I said, if anyone is interested in the kit, these are going to be in a kit. You're going to get everything you need to do them with. Then, put yes, please in the comments, and I will send you the link on how to get those kits. 2 different sizes, 18-inch for, say, you want the bigger size, hang outside or inside, even on a wall. Or and I also am going to be doing a 12. That would be more of the decorative piece sitting around. Okay. And this last little piece here, try and get in there. I'm put my brush this way. Okay, got touch go back in my base color, I think, and touch a couple little spots there. Just a little bit right there. See how easy you can fix a problem there. Looks a little bit different because it's wet, but when it dries, it'll kind of kick in there. And I have one little spot here I wasn't very happy with. Here we go. All right, now back to painting the squares. So what do you think, Michelle? Do you like that blue? Yeah. Well, thanks for your help, Michelle. It was your suggestion there that I took. So the first one was with the 2 blues, and that might have been what I didn't like. I got a hair or something in there. There we go. All right, so speaking of the blue, I'm going to go ahead and do all of these around the edges here. Now, I've got them, they're kind of a bright blue, but a little bit darker. So I've got a navy blue here. And then I had the bright blue. This color I kind of went. I need to get more paint out. Okay, mix that up. And just a touch. I have a touch of white in there. Okay, see, that's a little bit, that's more of the blue that I had on the outside there. So I'm going to paint one of these up here. That's that navy blue and then a little bit of bright blue. And I added just a little bit of white. It's still darker than the bright blue, but lighter than the navy blue. It's one of those things I tend to mix my paints a lot. Yeah, one of the things we're going to do with the weathering is we got the weathering around the edges and stuff, but then when we get done completely, we can put a little few more bolder streaks in there, but then also we can take, when it's dry, and just take a little sandpaper or streaks of my dry brush paint and paint over top. See, here's this blue. So this is what the darker, and I'm kind of wondering, did I get too dark on that? I think I might have did. I think I did. I'm gonna have to go a little bit lighter on that. Maybe didn't add enough. Maybe didn't add enough white in there. There we go. I wanted the blue, but I don't want quite that dark. Okay. But anyhow, when we get done, you can take, like I said, a piece of sandpaper or just paint itself and do a little dry brushing on your, get a dry brush, put some paint on there, and just lightly hit and miss here and there. Okay, that's a little better. I like that a little bit better. It looks dark in your screen, but it's actually, it'll dry a little dark, but it looks a little better. So that's going to be going on there on those end pieces. Okay. So those are going to be our end pieces. So let me get those. I'll get those painted out of the way. I got one of my boxes out. Just I thought, well, gee, if somebody wanted me to ship one of these kits, I better make sure my boxes that I ordered fit, and it just fit with the frame and everything. But then next thing I know, my cat's in the box. I'm sure your kittens they would be in the box too. So I'm like, well, I'm not shipping you, buddy. Yeah, that little bit brighter on there. Yeah, that I'm a little more happy with that blue than the initial one. I said, just paint these edges. Yeah, this is the what's going to be showing. You can even do these two-toned, if you wanted to. Okay, I'm going to have to try to move some of these up. So I'm definitely going to run out of the room. I'm going to move some things around here so I can have room to put these off the sides. There we go. And the glue up there, I don't need it just yet. All right, I should count these so that I make sure I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. So I need 8 of these of this color. And you could repaint like over these, several times to, get the solid colors if you want, but I'm going for the weathered look. So I like that the paint soaks in a little bit and then the wood grain and the wood itself kind of comes through a little bit. I kind of like that. That's going to be a preference of yours. You'd have to choose. I think I know I posted the Barn Quilt Trail link. I was thinking I posted it there in one of the pages. I'll have to look at that again. If you want me to give you the link to the Barn Quilt Trail, the history of the Barn Quilt Trail, comment more, please. More, please. And then I will give you, and I'm going to write that down because I will forget what I said there because I added that. So more, please, is the history of the trail, of the Barn Quilt Trail. And I'll put the link on there for that. Okay. The yes, please is for the kit. If you comment yes, please, I will send you the kit link. And more, please, is the history of the Barn Quilt Trail. Okay. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I wonder what everybody's going to have for dinner tonight. Oh, hi, Nancy. Oh, great. I'm glad you like it. This would be something maybe you would like, I would think. I know you like the primitive stuff a little bit. You could definitely make one very primitive, I bet. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 2 more of this color. And then we're going to go into the other. I think in the center there, I tried to do at least one of each color and then those 2 different kind of gray, light gray kind of color ones. Oh, chicken quesadilla. Sounds good. Yeah. Yes, Michelle, I'll send you that link. Yeah. If you want the link to the history of the Barn Trail, comment more, please. And if you would like the link on how you can order your kit, the Barn Quilt kit, 2 different sizes, 18-inch and a 12-inch, say yes, please, in your comments. And after this is all done, I will send you the link for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So one more. These are a lot of fun. I really like, I love painting, any kind of painting, any kind of art, really. These are really fun. I think I love working with the wood stuff too. I cut out all these little shapes. That's my job. I cut the little shapes. And my husband actually cut the board and the frame pieces for me. If I had to, I guess I could, because those are just squares. I think I could handle that one. But he did those for me, so I was very appreciative of that. Any help I get, is great from him. Okay, so I'm trying to move those over a little bit on my way. And now, rinse that brush out again. I got another one here. It's a little bit smaller. I'm going to go with it. So I don't have to wait on that. So the next color, let's see, I had the blues, and we did the light blue there. So now we got these pieces in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, somewhere I painted one too many, didn't I? 2, 4, 6, 8. And there's 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 of those. Oh, I already got my black ones. Yeah, okay. I already got the black too that's in there. That's why that was out of my 8. Okay. Had me worried there. I thought I was going to have to pull out some more. Okay. So let's see. I have the 2. I think I'm going to paint the 2 light gray ones right now. So the dog's going to start barking because I think the mail truck came through. Okay. All right. So let's see. Yeah, I'm going to have to talk amongst yourself for a second. I'm going to let her out so she can go work at the mail person. Here you go. Go on. And the mail truck come up. So, all right, let's see if I got. Yeah, it's pretty close. That's pretty darn close to what I had there. A little more blue in it. Here. Trying to get that color that I had there. It's a mixed color, so once again I have to just kind of eyeball it a little bit. It's more of a gray, a little bit of blue in it, so I think I got it now. Once again, I'm just going to paint these sides, and I'm going to paint the top. Okay, move that up there, and this one here. So I got 2 of these, so I'm good with that. So we're getting really close to getting this ready to put together here. So it takes a little bit of time, but it's not too bad. And it's nothing real hard or anything, so that makes it even more relaxing, I think. So. So we had, I had a pretty big lunch today. I hadn't had Chinese forever, and I like that General Tso's chicken, real spicy kind of stuff. And My husband treated me out for that today, and we had some left because it was just too much. So probably won't be eating dinner tonight. But I might have my sip, and I might go ahead and have my snack. And I actually brought in for my snack in here. I actually brought in something here. Yeah, last time I think we painted together, Michelle. You got the snacks and I didn't. But I brought in one of my sugar cookies to eat in here for my snack. So I'm going to enjoy that. A little bite of that for just a second. Good cookie. Okay. All right, so I painted my black ones. I need 2 white ones and then 2 of the light bright blue. So I'm going to rinse my brush out a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and get, I think, the 2 bright blue ones painted. Add just a touch of white to it. A little bit more there. I want a bright blue, but I don't want it to be too dark. Okay. Yep, guess this one goes this way. All right. It still looks very, those do to the outside, which is okay. They're not going to be sitting up close like I had that earlier, so I need a spot to put that one. And I remember that's where I put them, but if I mix them up, I think it'll be fine. All right, then I just have the 2 white ones to do. I'm gonna do my other brush rinse out here. So how many of you have used a palette knife painting? I just kind of wondered about that. I've used the palette knives many times, but I haven't really included them too much, except for the one thing I did with the mountain the other day, that one video I did, but I haven't introduced them too much because not everybody can do them. But I thought it would be kind of a neat thing. You guys let me know if you'd want to see maybe a little more of doing painting with the palette or palette knife. And you can pick those up. You can get the different kind, like the plastic ones. You can get them, pretty cheap at Walmart or any place like that. Mostly everything I use, I try to keep, especially for the parties, I can try to keep the price down and keep it where you can get them, at Walmart or Hobby Lobby or even the dollar store. So you're not spending a ton of money. But the palette knives are pretty cool. And they can do some pretty neat things. That might be some things. If that's something you might be interested in learning a little more about, I could do some more paintings with palette knives. It wouldn't have to be everything with the palette knife, but some. I know one of the paintings for sure I'm going to do. I'm really excited and wanted to do this one to show you guys how to do it. I think you'll love it. Is how to make a beautiful seascape, but using and making a beautiful wave, crashing wave. Those waves are so cool to make. They're so much fun. I could just make waves and waves and waves because they are so much fun. Once you kind of learn how to do them, you just can go, crazy with them. Okay, so I got my whites in there. All right, so I think I got them all painted there. So I'm going to like the last thing that I said I'm going to paint is my frame. So what I want to do now is try to get, I'm going to move my palette here over to my other stand. Bring this back down. Maybe I'll take a baby wipe. Wipe that off first. It's on the back side, but maybe I can get some of this wet off here. Clean that up a little bit. Baby wipes are my friend. Awesome, Michelle. We'll have to do one then. Like I said, I did that one. I just touched on it a little bit when I did that one with the little country church and had the mountains in the background. I did a little bit in there, but I like to do another one with a little more of teaching how to use that palette knife for different things. All right, so I'm going to bring this back, and these are still, of course, a little wet. I could get the hair dryer out and dry them off a little bit more, but I'm going to try to do this so you don't have to sit and wait. Now the black ones, they're getting a little bit better. They're almost dry. But I'm going to get my glue out to make sure I can get some glue out of there. Get shape down there. There we go. All right, so I'm going to start in the middle. And I'm going to put that right there on that one. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue here on this. Maybe just a little bit on the back, and I'll rub the one on the back just to make sure I get it all smooth and around the edges. I don't think you'd want, especially with this wood glue, too much squishing out of it. So, but I just want to make sure the edges are covered. And then it's just a matter of putting it down there and line her up. I'm going to stand up here so I could kind of see. All right. Like I said, don't worry about if some of that shows. We can touch it up, or we can cover it. One. All right, so got that one started. Let's see. We got one of our blues. These were the bright blues right here. So before I forget, I'm going to grab those. If you don't like the wood showing through behind some of it, you're welcome. You could paint those squares and let them dry and then glue, but I have blue and glue and everything pretty much all over me. I'm leaving that tiniest little gap in there. Okay, and then we got that lighter blue one goes there. So again, if you've jumped on here right now, and if you'd like to say hi, let me know that you're on. That'd be great. I'd like to see who's on. Just kind of work with them. Now when I dry fit them, they're really tight. They seem really tight, but here we're gonna We're going to have some of this. Not going to be as tight. Okay. So that, and that's our white one. It's a nice thing again about putting a little paint there so I know what to put there. I don't have to keep looking over at my reference. Okay. I'm trying not to press on that too much because that is still a little wet. I'll get me a baby wipe out to wipe off some of this glue off of my fingers. So I don't keep getting it everywhere else. All right, I need a black, one of the black ones. So what do you guys think? Is this something that you like? Starting to come together a little bit. And this is kind of a little more towards the craft, which can be a lot of fun. I used to do a lot of crafts when the kids was littler. Just trying to push that down a little bit more. There we go. Without getting too much. I'm going to go a little easier on the glue. I think I got a little too much on that last one. If it's rolling around when you get too much, I think, if it's sliding around too easily, you should have to push it a little bit harder. Then you might have a little too much glue. And I think that's what I did on that last two, actually. Yeah, that's better. I can feel it gripping there a little bit. All right, then we got that one there. This is really exciting. I just really love this barn quilt. I think I probably have 5 of them if I had a place to put that many. This is a fairly simple pattern to do, but it's still very quilt looking and pretty cool looking. This is where we're going to see if I got these. All right, we'll go in there. Just like that. Okay, let's sit up here and look. Now I'm just kind of, I have, like I said, I leave just a little teeny gap between them. And I'm just kind of looking there to see if I have them the way I want them before I let them be on their own and dry. Bring that one up a little bit. There we go. Oh, I picked up some of that black paint. That's okay. It's a little more in that distressed look, isn't it? Okay. All right. So there's the first layer. Now I just got to go in and put these in. Well, not like a second layer, but the outlining ones. I put this right here. Oh, hi, Joy. Well, thanks, Joy. I hope you enjoy this. You are certainly welcome to try one if you want to. These are a lot of fun. Okay. There. do this top up here. You might not have to put all this on the bottom and top, but, or on there and then the bottom of this, but I just kind of like that. Okay. Just make sure, let me pull this point here a little bit more. There, black one. Now we're gonna get one up here. I'm gonna squish that glue over a little bit because I'm afraid I put too much towards the edge. I don't want that squishing out all over that. So question here, that we've gotten this far, we got these ones on here. So what do you think about, Michelle, in the beginning I kind of asked you about the colors and about this color instead of being closer to this blue. Do you think that kind of worked out? So here's what it'll be. What do you guys think? You like that better? Because the original one had two blues kind of together. So I think that, because you can always repaint if you don't like something, but I really like it. I mean, you think it's missing anything? Get that in there. I wonder if that needs to turn this way. It shouldn't make any difference, but there. They're the same size all the way around. And I like some of it showing behind there. I like that, and some of it I don't. So I'll probably touch up a few places, but again, that's going to be one of those preferences. Oh, I bumped the camera. Didn't knock you out of the show, or me out of the show, I guess. So that's good. All right there. And didn't see my other blue ones. I thought, uh-oh, what happened? I shorted it. Oh, thanks, Joy. Yeah. She said the shade was good. So thanks, Michelle, too, because Michelle suggested that in the beginning there. So that worked out good. I liked it. I agree with you, Joy. I think it does give a little more dimension. And I don't know, like I said, what it was, but these colors just kind of spoke to me, I guess. But you maybe, wonder what you would choose. I know Michelle was saying turquoise seems to be her color, and I do kind of like that and Caribbean blues kind of in mine. I'm just curious, what colors would you choose? If you could choose 3 or 4 colors, has 4 colors basically, maybe 5 with that other shade, slightly different, but though it really is to use 4 colors and just blended. What colors would you use? What would be your choices? I was curious. The actual kit, if you order a kit, you actually get the primary colors and white and black. And then that way you can choose to paint whatever color you want. And if you missed it in the beginning a little bit, greens and blues. Joy. Oh, yeah, that would be pretty too. Yeah, greens and blues. That's her. Michelle could put that turquoise in there and then, and that would be neat. But in the beginning, I said if you hadn't read the history of the Barn Quilt Trail, if you wanted to learn a little bit more about that, or just read the link, if you want to comment more, please in the comment. After this, I'll send you the link for the Barn Quilt Trail history. If you want interested in getting a kit, interested in that, comment yes, please, and I will give you the link on how you can get your own kit. Oh, I don't know what you're sipping on or anything there, but okay. So we got those all put together. And again, this is, like I said, your preference. If you don't like the wood showing or something like that, I think that one is really showing up here. I don't like that. So you could touch it up, with your colors if you wanted a little bit. And I'm just going to do this just so I can kind of touch a little bit of that up. I don't like quite that much showing. There. Now touch that black one up there on top, up here. But do you like that better? Closing that off a little bit. Come in here on this one a little bit. I don't mind a little bit of the wood showing, but some of them was just a little more than what I like. So we'll come in here. And maybe it's the angle that I'm sitting. I mean, it could be possible why I'm seeing a little bit more than maybe what you are. I don't know. I'm just going to touch a couple of these up. Just big gaps. I'm going to turn the board. I think I can just squeeze it around here. Yeah, I've got a big one up here. I don't like that. This, I don't know why. So I'm going to go with black underneath there. Get my white. Some blue in there. Touch up that there. And this is, of course, again, your preference on those. You just see some places that maybe you like to not see so much wood showing. That's kind of what I'm at. I don't like quite all of that. Maybe if I would have painted them even further over the line, maybe that would have, because then that would have covered them up a little bit. Maybe I would like that, but a little bit of wood showing is okay, but just touch that in there. And of course, when I go to paint the frame, I'm going to have to use this liner brush for sure. A little bit over here. Well, thank you. Not sure who that one, that last comment there. I'll try to get my brush down in there a little bit. I almost got enough gap in here that I can do that. Okay. All right. I think that's good on that. Okay. So then, like I was saying, I kind of took like a little dry brush, and you can use your, one of your flat brushes, or what I kind of like to use, here it is I just like these little cheap chip brushes that you can get at any hardware store, but Harbor Freight, if you have one, we have one here in Zanesville. You can get like a whole big pack of them for a pretty good price, and they're really good, handy for big surfaces. And then also, I like them for this dry brush when you want to do like a little dry brush. And we don't want to put a ton of paint on here. I want to kind of figure my slimness. I guess it don't matter. That could be my top or bottom, either one. But I'm gonna take, and I just want to take like, I'm gonna take a little bit of dark color, and I'm gonna do some white, not a whole lot of white, but a little mix of blue, white kind of color. And just gonna kind of give a few little hits here and there of, to kind of make it look a little more distressed. So I'm gonna take, and I'm gonna get my paper towel ready. I'm gonna start with a little bit of black. I'm gonna hit some of that blue in it because I don't want total black. I don't want straight black. And I'm going to just kind of hit here and there. And I'm even going to hit a little bit. And we're going to do a little dry brush here. See, I'm just kind of scraping over it like that. Just kind of lightly scrape. And you can really see it on the lighter colors. I'm going to do a little bit heavy right there. Okay, and don't forget a little bit. I'm going to turn my board here. Put a little bit in here. Do a little bit again, like on those ones that you're in. There. See, it's already kind of looking old and weathery, isn't it? Just add a little bit of that in there. And this, again, will be your preference. You know, how much you want to add. After I get a little bit of the dark in there, maybe I'll pull up a little bit closer to the corner there. This corner a little bit. Okay. And a little bit up in here. Okay. So then, I'm going to rinse that out. And again, I'm going to dry that brush back off. I'll try to get it as dry as possible. A little water. And one more paper towel here. Now, let's see. Got somebody on here that we need to get rid of. Sometimes you get this. You get somebody on here that doesn't belong. Okay. Oops. Oh, that's kind of weird. I guess if I click on your comment, I pull it up to the screen. It's the first time I've ever seen that. Huh. Well, we had a little spammer guy on there or something there. So as soon as I saw him, I got him off of there. But that's the only thing there is when you do these where anybody can get on, which I want you guys to be able to, you know, come on. But you get some of those sometimes. So, okay. So I'm going to hit and just kind of maybe going a little bit. Oops. Make sure I'm using the right part of that. And if I get too much, I can always paint more blue on it. But right now, I'm just trying to put a little bit of white here and there. So we did those dark colors, and I'm going to put in some white. This has definitely been on the barn for a while, is what I'm thinking. up the pattern of that one a little bit, I think. All right. I'm going to take my, actually I'm going to take my, if I don't like, I'm going to either, I can either paint over it or I can tone it down a little bit with either the baby wipe or wipe it off a little bit. I want it to look naturally aged, not necessarily just painted on there. Okay. All right, so what do you think of that? Is that kind of looked okay there? Do you see anywhere I need to touch up? Maybe less distress somewhere, paint over something too much white. You know, when I'm looking at the picture there, it's hard to, because I got it sideways. I'm kind of wondering if, is that one maybe too much? So I could take a little bit of this. Just put a little bit of this back on there. Don't like quite that much, I don't think. There, turn that down just a little bit. Yep. Just kind of toning them a little bit more. Like a couple of those, I think I got a little carried away with there. There. All right. A little bit, a couple little black streaks in those. And this again, that's going to be your preference on, you know, how much of this you want to do. You could hit some browns and stuff in there, and that would probably, you know, give it a little bit more too. There's some nice, a bit more firmer lines in there. All right, so then now I got to paint the frame. Now this part, I'm using black. I could probably distress that a little bit as well when I get done. So at first though, I'm going to take my flat brush and I am going to tip this up a little bit so that I can take that flat brush and go all the way down here to the edge. And get a little more paint on there. And that's just frame it out. And that's where I said I will probably take a little bit on the frame when I get done getting it on. I probably will dry brush it a little bit, or you could use sandpaper, you know, bring a little bit of the wood back out. So it might be, so I know you can't really see that very well. Let me paint some of this in the black here so you can see. So what are you thinking there? Do you think that black looks pretty good? Oh, time to have a sip. I know, I said I brought my cookies, sugar cookies in here. I about got this an 8. Do you think that black frame is going to work out okay, or do you think I should paint it a different color? What's your thoughts on that? And the flat brush seems to be working the best when I do the frame like this. I can get right down to that edge there. And just kind of wiggle that corner a little bit. If I had to use the smaller brush or the liner or something for the corner, I could. That would help me get in that corner probably. Okay, turn it some more to this side. Some paint on here. I kind of like the black, I think, but I'm not real sure. I was thinking it would make it really kind of be a little bit, I'm going to like a distress it a little bit, but pop a little bit and make a bold kind of statement. It would be your border on your quilt. Not that I really know how to sew much, but I do kind of know that. My mother had done a couple quilts, and my brother actually, one of my older brothers actually made a quilt, and I think my son actually still has that quilt and ended up with it. And again, if you just happen to be joining, feel free to say hi. Let me know you're on. I am using StreamYard for this broadcast, so you would have to StreamYard.com, give them permission to put your name and your profile pic so we know who's on there when you comment. I need to get a little more black out. I'm just going to frame this, put this to rest all the way around here. Just keep going around with my black here. I'm tipping it up so I can see in there, so I'm not painting all over it. And again, if you're painting these and you, like I said, you see the woods coming through a little bit and you don't like that, you can always touch that up, add another coat of paint or something, because the wood will soak it up. I personally kind of liked where a little bit of that wood was soaking through, showing a little bit of that, especially in what I call the background of it. I like that. And then when you're putting the pieces together like these for the 3D look, if some of the wood is showing through and you don't like that, one of the things you could do is go ahead and paint all the squares. And I didn't paint the ones that I was going to glue on because I didn't want to fight with it with the time frame, because you would need to let that dry. You could do that, or go like I did and just go back in with a small, real thin liner brush and just touch up some of those spots if you didn't like the wood showing, or you could just leave it show. And the last part I will paint is the outside of my frame. The outside edge that's going to, will be showing. You could do the back side too if you wanted, but you'd have to definitely let it all dry and turn it over to be like. But I'll end up getting it on my shirt. Pretty sure, because I didn't put my apron on. I'm gonna say it. I mean, let's anybody want to show their hands? If you post a picture in there of your hands, let's see your hands. What you've been up to there. Hands usually tell the story there. But mine are usually pretty messy, and I usually I'm one of those people that I could start out with gloves, and try to keep my hands clean. Even though I'm varnishing something, I could start out with gloves. Pretty soon something happens, the glove gets a hole in it, I have to change it, or I get too excited and want to just go ahead and do it, and I don't want to take the time out to put even the gloves on, or they rip, get in the way when I do some things. If they're not if say I'm using like a Dremel tool or something, and then I want to do something tiny, and I've got those bulkier gloves on, I take them off, and then I end up getting all dirty. So the gloves don't really help me, because you got to wear them, I guess, to have them help. Okay, one more side here. Oh. Turn that around. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Just enjoy the painting. Definitely wanted to show you guys this. I was really excited about it when I seen the barn quilt and this history of it, and just really wanted to do this. And of course, if I had a barn, I would paint a big quilt on my barn, for sure. I would love to have an old barn. Not one falling down, but an old barn. I'd live in a house that was made out of a barn. That wouldn't bother me one bit. I love it. Like I was saying on my, if it was something you might be interested in, on my next online paint party, if you were joining that and you wanted to join the broadcast with me, if you wanted to email me at amymelvin@ymail.com, then I would possibly consider sending you the link. If you would want to, paint on there with me, I could send you the link for it, and we would do a practice run to make sure we could hook it up, everything okay. And anyhow, you would have to be able to use like your phone or something that you could record, or have the camera going to show, and you could paint with me, and everybody would be able to see yours as well when I add you in that broadcast. Or if you just had some tips or something you wanted to share in it, that would be great too. But if you was interested in doing that, like I said, shoot me that email, and I will get with you, and we can talk about when we could do a little practice run before that. It'd have to be before February 5th. It would be in a private group that I set up that nobody else would really see. So, you wouldn't have to worry about if we mess up, which I do a lot. It'd be no big deal, but we could work out some kinks. But I think it'd be kind of fun to have someone else in there painting with us. Not just me showing it, or, people could be following along with both of us. And I think that might help as well. And that one's going to be a mixed media one the first night. It's going to be just a fun little retreat. But it's going to be a mixed media one that we're going to try some little things. It's really cool, actually, what we're going to be doing. and make that little teapot and cup, and with the music notes and the birds and stuff. It's just a lot of fun. I've not done a lot of mixed media, but this one I really enjoyed. And then the second night is going to be just a fun, easy one. Just for, have a lot of fun. You could do some mixed media with it as well. That'll be a choice of yours, but it's more for a little relaxing fun. And like it's hope, faith, and love. It's kind of what we're saying anyhow. That's what you need. And almost got this side here. I'm hoping I have enough paint there that I don't have to put more paint out. Getting into my blue a little. I don't want to too blue. I want to stay black here. Last little one here. So then I'm going to distress this frame a little bit. Okay. I'm going to kind of see where I'm at here and decide. I kind of, look at it and I think, where is my top and bottom here? This one right here, I think is where I kind of like to say my top and bottom is, something like that. So I'm just going to take a brush here. I have a 1/2 inch flat brush. I'm just going to use it because I could probably use something else. I could even use this one here, this big round one. I might see what works best. Maybe I'll start with that one. And I'm going to maybe I'll do a little bit of white in there. It probably would work better if it was, let's see, come down this way. Maybe dry would be a little bit better, but for the sake of you guys, just going to touch a little bit and go with it just so you don't have to stay and watch it forever. I've been a couple hours here already. So just going to lightly, maybe put some up here. Maybe hit a corner here. Again, this has been on the barn for a while, right? I think this is my top, so I'm going to kind of go a little bit like down first. Put some over here, maybe down here. Like maybe it's kind of dripping down from the rain and stuff a little bit there. Okay, and I'll wipe that off. Come up here just to hit a little bit of that off there. Okay. I know, again, some of this doesn't always show up like super well on the video. I think I just put paint on my face. Guess that'd be the other question to ask. Okay. Okay. So with that, this is, I think, pretty much my completed one there. I'm pretty happy with that. And then on the back of it, what I'm going to do, I hope you like the black frame on there. You could paint your frame any way you wanted, but I'm pretty happy with that, I think. And this could go pretty much any way you want, but yeah. But that's pretty much the final one there. So again, I want to thank you again a lot for joining me on this, and I'm going to touch up a couple little spots here I see. And those of you, I know Michelle, a couple of you that wanted the link for the kits to find out how to get a kit if you was interested in that. You comment yes please, and I will send you that link. And for those of you that wanted the barn quilt history there, I have a link for that as well that I will send you. There we go. And I'll do that here as soon as I finish this up. I have little hanging things, like I said, I'm going to put on the back of mine. I'll just nail it on the back there. And that way I can hang it up outside. Now you could hang it with, the wire ones if you wanted to do that. I'm just going to use the hook. Now, if it's outside, I would probably, want to have something maybe a little bit stronger. So, I might, for that, possibly have my husband help me figure that one out. Make sure it's not going to blow away or anything. Okay. All right. And I think with that, like I said, I'm just touching up a couple little spots that I see, and I think that's it. I think I'm pretty happy with that. I hope you enjoyed that. So that's our barn quilt, and yes, I did get paint on my forehead there. So anyhow, I hope you enjoyed it, and it's always a lot of fun. Excuse me. But it's always fun to join you guys here and just show you a few, paintings and stuff. And anyhow, just again, let me know if there's other things you'd like to see. Just message me and send me, post on my Chill with Amy Paint Party group. You're welcome to join that and let me know those things that you'd like to see and stuff. But again, I appreciate you showing up, and thanks again. I hope you enjoyed this one, the barn quilt one. It was certainly a lot of fun for me to, paint it with you. And it was a lot of fun just for myself. So I really enjoyed it. So thanks a lot. And again, until next time, I will see you then. Okay.